Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. It's very easy to get lost in the fact that Chelsea have sacked Graham Potter and just start talking about new manager this, new manager that. Who's the right man? Right now, Bruno is the man. Graham Potter's right-hand man is taking charge of Chelsea's Premier League game today against Liverpool. As if after all of this, we have got a match tonight in the Premier League against bloody Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp was asked in an interview about what he thinks about the sackings of Rodgers, the sacking of Graham Potter, and he makes a sarcastic comment saying, why isn't he being sacked? It's the elephant in the room. And yeah, you could be right about that one, Jurgen. Liverpool have just not been what they were. Liverpool are not the same team that they were. They need enforcements in the midfield. And is that the time and the place where Chelsea beat Liverpool in this game tonight? Can Bruno get a tune out of these players? Will Chelsea dominate? And is Enzo Fernandez the main man? You best believe that he is. There is a lot of different ways we can look at how the sacking of Graham Potter is going to impact the way that Chelsea play. First of all, I'd be incredibly interested, as we know how close Bruno was with Graham Potter. Obviously, only Graham Potter and Billy Reid have left Chelsea right now. But will he change things massively? Will we see that even Graham Potter's staff were wondering and curious about what was wrong? Or will he see him just pick the same team that he played against Aston Villa just to show solidarity with Big Graham, who, I've got to admit, now that everything has kind of calmed down a little bit, you kind of feel sorry for him. Because he was destined to fail, really, to be quite frank. Because the moment that we started to hear stories that in the game against Nottingham Forest, players are going down onto the touchline and there's staff members at Chelsea asking Graham Potter, are the players implementing any of the tactics that you've told them to do? Graham's like, no, they're just doing their own thing. We have heard that over the course of the last 24 hours. So you can even look as far back as New Year's Day and all of this, oh, we're behind the manager, all these players coming out and just giving their support. It sounds like a load of nonsense. And to be quite honest, I think it was always a losing battle for Potter when you've got so many players, some of which are not good enough to be at Chelsea and they're far more senior. You're absolutely destined to fail here. But at the same time, that's only because he wasn't able to manage the dressing room. And when you look at the quality within this Chelsea squad, when a proper manager who commands respect comes in, we will see a difference. There will be an immediate difference, let alone the questionable lineups, the questionable substitutions, tactics, defending leads at Stamford Bridge and then not being actually able to see it out. Chelsea versus Liverpool has the potential to be one of those games where there's so many goals, but the quality of football just absolutely stinks. And I've got a funny feeling we're going to see an absolute classic at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea, now that they've sacked Graham Potter, all of the emphasis is going to be on the Champions League. It's going to be either Bruno or if a new manager comes in, every piece of energy is going to be channeled and funneled towards this game against Real Madrid and then the return against Real Madrid. So when you've got a team like Liverpool who are conceding loads of goals, can score loads of goals on any given day, like we saw the 7 against Manchester United. You've got a Chelsea team who are literally just one little hairline out of the way of making a defensive error. But then you've also got a plethora of brilliant attackers, but they just don't seem to be able to score. When you add in all of this poor defending, the whole commotion around Chelsea right now, this game has got goals written all over it. I will give my score prediction and goal scorers at the end of the video. But for Bruno, we heard in Potter's press conference before the game against Aston Villa that Fofana, Sterling could well be back for this match against Liverpool on Tuesday, and both of them are in my starting 11. But we begin with the goalkeeper, and I've kept Kepa in goal. I don't think we're going to see goalkeeping changes for now. I think we will see a goalkeeping change potentially in the summer due to the reappearance of issues with Kepa. When you look at both of the Aston Villa goals, long shots, John McGinn, it's a mixture of a wonder strike and also Kepa being poor from outside the box shots. And the first one, he's kind of overcommitted but not committed enough over to go and try and win the ball off Watkins, which gives Watkins a really easy finish, but it's a difficult finish, if that makes sense, because Kepa made it easy with his positioning. But he starts in goal, and then I've gone with the back three of Fofana, Koulibaly and Badiashile. One of the key things that Graham Potter just did so wrong was freezing Badiashile out of this team after he started so brilliantly in a Chelsea shirt. Wesley Fofana, before he got injured and missed that game at the weekend, was looking like a serious player. And if he's back fit, we've got to get these players starting to build momentum, get match fitness back. Best way to do that? Play game time. So if he's back and ready, Fofana's got to start. Koulibaly in the middle. Going to give him one last chance to marshal that Chelsea back line. If Thiago Silva's not quite ready, he's one that we don't want to rush. He's one that we don't want to risk. He's 38 years old. We cannot be taking the Michael Owen with this bloke. And luckily, Michael Owen doesn't play for Liverpool anymore. So let's risk it with Kalidou Koulibaly. Moving into the two wing-backs, Reece James back in his natural position. Again, it was criminal of Graham Potter to keep Reece James at centre-back during that match. Chelsea was struggling to create stuff, and still, Reece James was in the right centre-back position. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, that's not his position for a start, let alone the fact that even when he does play in position, it's average at best. So Reece James is back in there, and I think what we need to see now, whether it remains with Bruno as interim or a new manager comes in, any new manager who might just happen to stumble across this preview, please know it's universally agreed that Chelsea's two best players, both defensively and going forward, are Reece James and Ben Chilwell. So please play them in their natural positions. And then if you do, you got more chance of winning football matches. Unfortunately, Graham didn't always understand that. So, midfield 2. N'Golo Kante, he looked like a bundle of energy again against Aston Villa. So, because he also loves a game against Liverpool, and I think Chelsea are going to need players, if we can swarm that Liverpool midfield, and Kante is the kind of man that won't give them any time and space. Kante and Enzo, this is a partnership that we have been crying out for. We've been patiently waiting because of N'Golo Kante's injury and the return when you've been out for 7 months. You can't rush it, but he played half an hour in that game at the weekend. He wasn't awful, but he was kind of just chasing shadows a little bit, which you expect. But I think him and Enzo in this game could be the difference makers to get Chelsea the win. As much as all the focus is on who's the new manager going to be, how do we react to Graham Potter being sacked, let's see N'Golo Kante back out there and let's see him with Enzo Fernandez. My front three for this game, I wanted to remember Mudryk's brilliant cameo against Liverpool, which is the best we've seen of him so far in a Chelsea shirt. But unfortunately, what we saw against Aston Villa, for me, just cannot warrant a start again. Whether it was Potter still in charge, Bruno in charge, or whatever. I don't see how Mykhailo Mudryk can start this game after what was a shocking performance, really, against Aston Villa. The man is void of confidence, so let's strip it back again. Let's do what we did in that game at Anfield. Introduce him with half an hour to go. Trent Alexander-Arnold is a man who looks a shadow of the previous player that he was, and he's never been able to defend. He still can't. We've seen that time and time again. Jack Grealish ran that entire Liverpool backline ragged in that game against Manchester City. Man City dominated Liverpool, and that was even without the monster that is Erling Haaland. So this Chelsea team, I've gone with Sterling, Felix on the right, Kai Havertz through the middle. Whatever happens between now and the end of the season, there is one thing that cannot change. We still don't have a proper striker. So to expect any new manager to come in, to expect Bruno to be able to change the fact that Kai Havertz is not a proper centre-forward, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen probably at all between now and the end of the season. But Chelsea need to make do. And it is up to whoever comes in now to try and get a tune out of these players. These players are talented. Maybe Kai Havertz is being asked to do a role that doesn't fully benefit the brilliance that he can have in different areas across the pitch. Chelsea have been better with this front three. Sterling, Felix and Havertz was the front three that beat both Leeds and then beat Borussia Dortmund. So, in order to give us the best chance here against Liverpool, let's just choose a winning formula. Use someone like Mudryk off the bench if Liverpool are nervous or the game's there for the taking, which I think it could be. But at the same time, is Chelsea Football Club going to be in too much of a mess that we can't pull ourselves together against the team which you never know what's going to show up? Liverpool can either be bloody brilliant or atrocious. We don't know what Liverpool's going to show up. City were just so good. After Liverpool went 1-0 up, City then dominated and controlled the game. Chelsea need to try and do the same, and that is why I've tried to create that N'Golo Kante nibbling at your ankle situation again, which we've seen against Liverpool before. He's been fantastic in the past against Liverpool, and I'd love him to overrun them again. Enzo also to win the balls back, get it over the top. Let's see what we can do. As for my score prediction for this game, after what I saw against Aston Villa and the fact that we've got Bruno in charge, I don't know, is it going to be enough to give us a bounce? Are the players going to turn up? Are we trying to play ourselves into the mind of whoever comes in and be like, look how good I am, that's why I deserve to play? Will we see Mason Mount feature? So many questions. It's fascinating, this. I've got a funny feeling this finishes Chelsea 3, Liverpool 3. I just think there's goals in it, even for Chelsea, because Liverpool have struggled defensively. I also was thinking 3-1 Liverpool, but I hate making predictions that Chelsea are going to lose in my videos, so I'm going to say 3-3. I think Joao Felix has been so unlucky with not scoring as many goals as he's had good chances and exciting finesse on the ball. I think Felix scores 2 in this game. And I think there is a goal for Wesley Fofana in there as well. Whether it is back 4 or back 3, if Fofana's fit, Fofana scores. That is my prediction. Chelsea 3, Liverpool 3. Just entertain us. You know, the Premier League is gone. Let's build upon something to go into Real Madrid. And whether it's Bruno in charge or a new manager, this is such a weird game at such a weird time. Can Chelsea get the result? Let me know in the comments down below. There's been so much content uploaded to the GBFC in the past 24 hours. So if you haven't seen everything, links to all of the videos uploaded since Graham Potter's sacking are in the description. And there's going to be Chelsea news at lunchtime too. So make sure the bell notifications are turned on. Come back. And I'll also see you after the game for 6 things we learnt. Bloody hell, we're busy. Come on, you Blues.